Hello gainers, Ralphie here with some fitter philosophy, sharing the holistic fitness with some practical, life-informed holistic philosophy, so as that you can gain perhaps a little bit from my experience, which has been influenced by other people's experience, and not just by those around us, not just those we know, but from the wider global humanoid collective, because never has there been so much information available to help us be informed, to grow and be better versions of ourselves. Of course, we have the option, we can be worse versions of ourselves, and there's plenty of influencers out there, and you'll find a lot in traditional media which encourages us to not listen, not learn, and not personally develop, for a very simple reason, very simple and practical. The weaker we are, the more we can be manipulated and controlled. The stronger we are, on the other hand, the less influence that negative people and supposedly powerful and rich people will have over us. I hope you like my location, by the way. I'm down by the river. This is the Isle of Man. There's a lot of rivers here. Not big, slow, sluggish rivers. It's a hilly island, so you get lots of river noise, a lot of white water. And it's a very energetic place where there's the movement of water, where it is being oxygenated. You will find that water becomes alive. And it's not just my opinion. If you look at ancient Indian texts, they discuss it, and in fact their opinion and perspective and experience is being reinforced by modern science. However, let's focus on my topic of discussion for today with you in my monologue, to help you with your fitter philosophy. And it's a word, nobility. Now, there are two meanings for the word nobility when you look up your dictionary. And one is it's an alternative name for aristocracy around the world, you know, to describe someone as the nobility, right, or being a noble man or a noble woman, implies by suggestion that they have their status by virtue of their virtuousness. And it doesn't take long to discover that this is a misnomer. But it's a deliberately applied word to suggest to ill-informed people that nobles and nobility are noble people by position, by status. That's changing, particularly amongst those of us who are informed and are informing others. And there's the alternative meaning of nobility, which is the one I really want to discuss with you, and that is personal nobility. What is it? Well, basically it's self-illumination and behaving in a positive way which has a positive impression and enlightens in many little ways those around us, so that as we go through life we will meet people on an increasingly regular basis, and nobody's perfect, but these people that you do meet from all different environments and all different places and towns and cities around the world, they have a personal nobility, and it's something that is just instinctive to them because they practice and they cultivate it through the positivity of their life's decisions. This is a personal nobility, and it is a component of people who are on the path to self-discovery, to pursuing the higher self, and to enlightenment. I know that some ancient religious texts suggest that enlightenment can be sudden, a flash of light, for example. Now, I'll come back to this flash of light shortly. But that's the exception to the rule. For most humans, it's a long-term, lifelong slog, struggle, perseverance, commitment, sacrifice to a certain extent, is to develop a personal sense of nobility. And it may seem kind of cosmetic, you know, why bother? Why bother with it? But I would suggest that you don't know what it's worth until you're developing it. You don't know the true value of it until you're going through the journey of life. We're all going through this journey of life where we suddenly become aware of things we weren't aware of before. And people, the good people around us, the positive people, they will spot and recognize instinctively our growing sense of personal nobility, and they'll relate to that. They'll want to know us, they'll want to engage with us, and we learn a lot from these people. And you also find that negative people will tend to avoid you because you're not an idiot, you're not a schmuck, you're not a fool, you're not a dummy. Because no matter what our intellect, what our IQ, and how intelligent we regard ourselves, common sense and a certain alertness and awareness of the world around us and life in general is a very shiny pearl of wisdom, well worth polishing. And this is what we do as we go through life. Now, I mentioned flashes of light and inspiration. The more we enhance our personal nobility through positive behaviour, more positive attitudes, more of a can-do attitude, addressing the negative within ourselves and diminishing its influence on ourselves, the more that we become a little bit more enlightened. It's not huge, but a little goes a long, long way. And to be suddenly becoming aware that enlightenment can be little sparks of original thought that illuminate us on a day-to-day basis. It's all the little steps, it's not the giant leaps, it's just the little consistent steps all the time that add up, and that is what helps us to identify our progress, our sense of developing personal nobility through seeing it in others, practicing it in ourselves and developing it, building an experience as we go through life, and reaching towards the end of our journey simply as better people, less materialistic, more outward looking, but more inwardly reflective, more tolerant, but also at times less tolerant of stupidity and indifference, more tolerant of sharing humanity and helping the species around us. And there's so many people around us struggling. Some of them they don't appear to be, but they are. And just as sympathetic here, it's not what we say to these people, it's the quality of how we listen. And we can do that better when we have a personal sense of nobility. And I hope you've enjoyed this little monologue. I'm Ralphie, on location, a slightly blustery day, but I've been careful to keep my microphone out of the way of the wind. And if you pop back again for my next walk and talk, I shall be discussing understanding of light and how it affects us personally, because I did mention flashes of inspiration. Inspiration is considered a light quality. Enlightenment is most certainly a light quality. Illumination is most certainly a light quality. But I want to kind of discuss the holistic fullness of what light actually is, so that hopefully you'll see it from a slightly different perspective, and perhaps, gainers, you may be even a little bit illuminated from it. See you soon now. I will leave you with a lovely sunny view on a blustery day, but it is bright. In fact, I'll let you see the sun glimmering through the trees in autumn time. I think I'm quite nicely illuminated here. Here goes.